in a heartbreaking tragedy that has shaken an entire nation. At least 27 lives have been lost, and more than 170 people injured, after a Bangladesh Air Force fighter jet crashed into a school and college campus in Dhaka. Cut to burning building, emergency crews rushing, people crying. The incident occurred on a seemingly normal Monday afternoon, but, within moments, it turned into a nightmare. Footage of school exterior, distressed parents, children being carried out. It was 1:06 p.m. local time when an F-7B GI fighter jet took off for a routine training mission. Just 12 minutes later, the aircraft, suffering from a technical malfunction, crashed into the Milestone School and College campus in Dayabari, on the northern edge of the capital. Show map location. Zoom in from Bangladesh to Dhaka, then to Dayabari. The impact was catastrophic. The aircraft, piloted by Flight Lieutenant MD Tukir Islam, exploded on contact, setting the school building ablaze. Footage of fire, smoke, ambulances, chaos. The pilot, officials say, made every attempt to steer the aircraft away from densely populated areas, a final act of bravery. But fate had other plans. Photos of the pilot, if publicly available, then back to crash site visuals. Inside the school, classrooms were full. Children were studying, teachers were guiding lessons, until the sky fell. Show interviews or clips of witnesses, parents, or teachers, or animated reenactments, if no visuals. Masood Tariq, a teacher at the school, recalled the horrifying sound of the explosion. When I was picking up my kids and went to the gate, I heard an explosion behind me. When I looked back, there was only fire and smoke. Parents rushed to the scene. Screams, panic, prayers. The search for loved ones began immediately. Visuals of hospitals, blood donors, crowded waiting areas. Hospitals across Dhaka are now treating the injured. The health ministry confirms that at least 7 major hospitals are involved in the emergency response. Many victims, mostly young students, suffered severe burns. Doctors say that the condition of more than 24 injured remains critical. Hospital interview clips or photos. Doctors speaking to press. Dr. Bidhan Sarkar from Dhaka Medical College shared a painful truth. A third-grade student was brought in dead, and others aged 12, 14, and 40 are under critical care outside hospitals. Desperate parents held up name boards, clutched photos, and begged for blood donations, hoping to find their children alive. Show Bangladesh's interim Prime Minister, Mohamed Yunus, speaking or post on X in response to this national disaster. Bangladesh's interim Prime Minister Mohamed Yunus has declared a day of mourning. He promised a full investigation and all possible assistance to the victims' families. This is a moment of deep sorrow for the nation. He posted, "I wish the injured a speedy recovery and urge all authorities to handle this with utmost importance." Cut to visuals of national flag at half-mast, black ribbons on school gates. Across the country, people are mourning. Flags are at half-mast. School communities are grieving. A day meant for learning turned into a day of loss. Slow montage of children's drawings, empty classrooms, charred school building, Bangladesh's F-7 aircrafts, though outdated by modern standards, remain in use for training and basic combat roles. The F-7B GI variant was delivered in 2013, its age and maintenance now raising critical questions. An investigation committee has been formed by the Bangladesh Air Force, but for now, the questions linger. Could this tragedy have been prevented? Footage of pilot memorials, national mourning visuals. Flight Lieutenant Tukir Islam is being remembered as a hero who gave his life trying to protect others, and the children young lives lost before they could dream are. Now, the silent voices, calling for safety, reform, and justice. Segment 1. The tragedy unfolds. 0:51 to 2:20 footage. Aerial shots of Dhaka, jet takeoff, animation, clock ticking graphic. Narrator, at exactly 1:06 p.m. local time, a Bangladesh Air Force F-7BGI fighter jet took off from an airbase for a routine training flight. Just 12 minutes later, disaster struck. The aircraft lost control due to what officials call a technical malfunction, and in a matter of seconds, it came crashing down, directly onto the Milestone School and College campus in Diabari, a densely populated area of Dhaka. Footage. CCTV footage of impact moment if available. Mobile phone videos. Fire engulfing the building. Narrator. The aircraft burst into flames upon impact, engulfing classrooms, corridors, and the school gate in fire. And bereaved teachers and students were trapped inside, while others ran in panic, screaming for help. Segment 2. Pilot's final moments. 2:21 to 3:10 footage. Pilot's name on screen. Military photos if publicly available. Reenactment animation. Narrator, the pilot, Flight Lieutenant M.D. Tukir Islam, is now being remembered as a hero, according to the military's official statement. He tried desperately to steer the malfunctioning aircraft away from homes and crowded areas. But time and altitude were not on his side. Despite his effort, the jet crashed into a 2-story school building where students were attending classes. Segment 3. Inside the school. 3:11 to 4:30 footage. Charred school building. Emergency responders entering. Shocked students. Narrator. Inside. Chaos unfolded. One teacher, Masood Tariq, had just arrived to pick up his children. When I reached the school gate, I heard an explosion behind me. I turned around and saw nothing but fire and black smoke. Footage. Parents crying outside. People holding up placards with names. Narrator. Panicked parents rushed to the school, desperate to find their children. Some screamed names. Others collapsed in despair. Nearby hospitals began filling with injured students, teachers, and civilians. Segment 4. The human cost. 4:31 to 6 o'clock footage. Inside burn units. Doctors speaking to press. Families in waiting rooms. Narrator. More than 170 people are injured, many of them with severe burns and critical injuries. At Dhaka Medical College, Dr. Bidhan Sarkar confirmed the heartbreaking loss. A third-grade student was brought in dead. Others aged 12, 14, even 40 are fighting for their lives. Footage. Candlelight vigils. Mourners gathered outside the school. Narrator. As rescue teams pulled bodies from the wreckage, stories of pain, bravery, and heartbreak began to emerge. A father named Jules stood outside, eyes full of tears. The plane crashed into the building where my daughter was. My wife called me, but I was praying and didn't pick up. When I arrived, all I saw was fire. There was a dead child lying there. Segment 5. National response. 6:01 to 7:10 footage. National flag at half-mast. Prime Minister speaking. Emergency press conferences. Narrator. Prime Minister Muhammad Yunus declared a national day of mourning. In a message to the nation, he said, "This is a moment of deep sorrow for the nation. I instruct all hospitals and rescue authorities to give this matter the highest priority." Visuals. Blood donation drives. Ambulances lined up. Volunteers helping. Narrator. 7 major hospitals across Dhaka are treating victims. Blood donations are pouring in. Citizens from all walks of life are coming together in grief and in solidarity. Segment 6. The questions ahead. 7:11 to 8 o'clock footage. Military aircraft footage. F-7 history visuals. Technical diagrams. Narrator. The F-7BGI jet, a Chinese-made variant of the Soviet MiG-21, is primarily used for training and limited combat missions. Though considered outdated by global standards, it remains in service due to its cost-effectiveness. Now, questions are being raised about the safety and maintenance of these aging aircraft. An Air Force inquiry committee has been formed, but for the families who've lost everything, no investigation will bring their loved ones back.